Welcome everyone to the Pima Air and Space Museum. This Air and Space Museum is located in Tucson, Arizona, and I made a visit to it in March of 2023. During this visit, you will see, including but not limited to, military aircraft, civilian aircraft, including the 787 Dreamliner, the oldest DC-10 in existence, the prototype 777, and the 747. So, let's go! When you enter the museum, you enter a hangar and see a variety of different aircraft, mainly of smaller civilian and military aircraft. Even some planes from the Blue Angels. Outside of the entrance hangar, though, there's quite a lot of aircraft, but though it's mostly military jets, which are really cool. Unfortunately for me, I know very little about military fighter jets.
First Fighter Squad, Second Fighter Squadron, 95th Fighter Squadron.
Now this right here is an airplane that I actually do know something about.
That's a Dreamliner.
The airplane's program was launched in 2004.
Built, actually.
A prototype was was revealed on July 8th, 2007. Get it? 787. With the airplane entering service in late 2011. Everett. Today, over 1,000 of these Dreamliners have been delivered and are operating on airlines around the world, linking cities never previously thought to have been linked. Dreamliner actually wasn't going to be the 787's name in the first place. Boeing had hoped that it would be named Global Cruiser, but they put the name up to a vote. And in the end, the Dreamliner won, so the name stuck.
Right over there.
Also, that plane with the 6 propellers over there in the background is likely a B-36 Peacemaker plane. We'll get back to this one in a bit.
We'll see somebody stay. We'll see back at the steepest. sing in air. The luck that I didn't die today.
And again, that's a B-36 Peacemaker. At least, I think it is. Now these two planes. The one on the right is a Douglas C-9B Skytrain, while the one on the left is a Boeing C-137 Stratoliner. This Stratoliner in particular served in the return of the American hostages from Tehran, Iran in 1981, and today, this aircraft is now here at the museum.
C-137V VIP transport Freedom 1 delivered to the USAF on May 31st, 1959. Wow, tiny plane. Damn, boy, he thick. That's a pretty scientific airplane. And over there, no, not that one. That one right there is one thick ass airplane. There's also a Coast Guard airplane I think maybe that thingy was made to transport aircraft parts that, you know, were too big to like be handled by train. Because Boeing 737s are handled on trains. Ache. USS Shangri-La. What?
EA6.
EA6?
Yeah, right there where it's got the nose.
Spat thingy? You mean the one that looks like it's having that curved thing up on its nose? That one?
Yeah.
Alright. That's cool.
Like it's got all kinds of electronic intelligent stuff on it.
So you said that some of these are MiGs, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is where they had them last time I was here.
Okay, because because all of them look like they're American Air Force planes. U.S. Air Force. But I do see this one. Oh yeah, that one kinda maybe could be a MiG. Wait, there's an airplane landing over there. AC-130, huh? Enemy AC-130 above. That one looks like it used to be in the Egyptian Air Force. What?
It's a J6, Chinese.
Which one's the Chinese? Oh. Alright, Mikoyan Gurvik. This one is a MiG. One of the many commie planes. You said that in the news some were being given to Ukraine?
Yeah, the MiG-29.
Oh. So,
Poland and Slovenia.
hey, where are you? Because Uncle Mark and I are outside. Okay. All right. We'll try and find you. Okay. Bye. All right. And hearing news of that, how that this kind of airplane is being sent to fight the very people who built them, honestly feels like a bit of karma to me.
Pretty good looking plane.
Yeah.
An AC-130 passes overhead. Hopefully no Call of Duty players are getting
AC-130?
PTSD attacks.
Your AC-130 is in the air.
Usually you see lots of A-10s flying around
Fascinating. Yeah. Possibly.
We then enter a hangar with the B-17G Flying Fortress, and I gotta admit, a hangar like this is pretty appropriate for a Flying Fortress plane.
So this is the Flying Fortress, huh?
If you're wondering why I'm censoring this photo of some of these pictures, it's because that back in the day some of these Flying Fortresses would be painted with some woman that would have like their you-know-what showing. And while Ise Hyodo would absolutely love this, YouTube would hate this, so I have to censor it. But an uncensored version is in the link in the description.
This is looks like that's the place where all the bombs would come out.
Once you get out of the flak field, then the enemy fighters get on them again.
Wow.
So the fighters don't follow them into the flak field. They don't want to get hit.
Bombs away! Bombs away! Bombs away! Say Geronimo.
This is a Sud Aviation Caravelle airplane. It was once owned by United Airlines, and United was actually the only airline in the United States to ever roster a fleet of Sud Aviation Caravelles.
Hey, that's a Sud Aviation That is a Sud Aviation Caravelle. Thank you, Nat. I think only one American airline ordered this plane for use here. Huh. Big plane, big plane.
Before I crossed a small bridge to see some more planes, a train passes by the museum. The Union Pacific and former Southern Pacific trackage goes right next to the museum, and is now part of what used to be the Southern Pacific Sunset Route. And yep, it comes back to trains. It always comes back to trains.
Sorry, am I taking too long? Two of my favorite things at once. Awesome.
Long, slow train.
Yeah.
This plane right here, registered N220AU, is a McDonnell Douglas DC-10. Until 1985, there were FAA rules that stated that two-engined airplanes couldn't fly over vast bodies of water like the Pacific or Atlantic Oceans, but three- and four-engined airplanes could, and so this plane was created by McDonnell Douglas. The Douglas Aircraft Corporation actually devised it first, but McDonnell Douglas finished it.
The train. Not the airplane right there. That's a 727.
One interesting note about that 727 over there is that it was the fifth Boeing 727 built and the first to be delivered to a customer, and it flew the very first ever 727 commercial flight in 1964. It's currently awaiting restoration, though.
Oh, that there is a 747. And if you like are in your 50s or 40s, I hope looking at this does not freak you out or anything.
Why do you say that?
Because that big plane right there is a DC-10.
Yeah.
It's more well known for being in a bunch of accidents.
Unfortunately for the 10, it has a negative reputation among both aviation fans and non-aviation fans. The 10 was involved in several accidents, even though that is literally not uncommon for any other airplane in existence.
And therefore a lot of people don't take very kindly to this kind of airplane.
But what really caused the negativity among the 10 was the accident of American Airlines Flight 191. Prior to Flight 191, American Airlines decided that it was a good idea to go against McDonnell Douglas's instructions on how to do maintenance on the airplane's engines. And some checklist guy who was in charge of the checklist for dealing with an engine falling off the airplane, who I am 90% was not even sober while making that checklist, decided it was a great idea to have the pilots pull the yoke up and throttle down the engines. What on earth is possibly going to go wrong with that? Because of Flight 191, the 10 had a really negative reputation among both non-aviation fans and aviation fans. And the DC part in DC-10, which stood for Douglas Thomas character, Douglas Aircraft Corporation, became Death, insert whatever starts with the C here. It didn't help that somebody at Continental Airlines decided it was a good idea to install a third-party strip on a DC-10. And now a lot of the Concorde fandom is on the same brainwaves as people who think that Metra is the sole reason the 5629 was scrapped. Basically, the life of the 10 after 1979 was about the same as Kotora-san's.
化け物が来るんじゃねえよ。違う。こっち見た。心を読まれるぞ。だから親に捨てられるんだよ。
But if people don't recognize this plane from Mayday or Seconds from Disaster, they may recognize it from Home Alone, and maybe, just maybe...
Big mighty machines. Big and mighty machines. working for you, doing mighty things. They're mighty machines.
This particular one was the second 10 ever built. The prototype DC-10, which was registered N10 DC and later N101AA, wasn't so lucky and was scrapped in 2003.
Huh. Looks like that was the end of the train right there.
This particular DC-10 has a bit of a storied history. After being constructed and having its first flight in 1971, it was sent to Laker Airways in 1977, then to American Transair in 1983, Caledonian Air International in 1986, Novair in 1988, and finally Project Orbis in 1991, and was registered N220AU. It was eventually withdrawn from use in 2016 and was donated to the Pima Air and Space Museum not long afterwards.
I'm gonna wait for them to walk by, okay? Relax. Almost. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
According to a marking on the plane, it is shown that the plane was donated by employees by both FedEx and United Airlines, both of which operated the DC-10, especially United Airlines, which has which operated the DC-10 in a livery that is way cooler than United's current livery. Why did they have to throw out the tulip?
In 1982 to 2014.
Now, we're coming up to 3 Boeing aircraft, a 777, a 747, and a 737.
That big plane with the Orbis we're trying to compete against. And that plane has been the common replacement. And that plane right there is a common replacement for both that plane and that plane.
First off, the 747. It was originally built in 1970 and flew for Pan Am until Pan Am went bust in 1991. After which, General Electric took over the ownership of the airplane and used it as a test bed to test other engines that GE created.
Hey, Uncle Mark. That plane right there is the prototype Boeing 777.
As mentioned, that's a Boeing 777. It was created after ETOPS regulations allowed for twin-engined airplanes to go across large bodies of water like the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. And the type replaced airplanes that include but aren't limited to the 10, the 11, 747s, and A340s, among other airplanes.
So yeah, I really think that I'm getting too old for this horse.
This Boeing 777 was the prototype. It was registered as N7771 by Boeing and then flew for Cathay Pacific registered BHNL until retirement in 2018. Then it was put at preservation at this museum.
There's a bigger plane near me. It's only when you get up close to you do you realize the sheer size of this plane. BHNL. And this is quite the size of an airplane.
This here is a Boeing 737-300. It was built for China Southern Airlines and registered as B2921. It was eventually sold to Boeing Capital Corporation and re-registered at 759BA, and eventually it was sold to the museum. Insert some meme about somebody speaking Chinese here.
在香港这座城市的设置，主演钱德勒、罗斯、吴波斯尼、瑞秋、莫妮卡和一些其他他妈的演员。
This airplane here is a B-29 Super Fortress, and in this hangar is all sorts of equipment of airplanes that were used during World War II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can go. Right, but you take much of the day. That's great.
Bed Porky Gale Betty. On land, on the sea, and in the air.
Besides the Super Fortress, there are a lot of airplanes in here, big and small, that I do not know the names of.
Well, there goes any monetization for this video. This one looks like an AC. Evo.
Harrison.
Yo.
I'm gonna go find Margaret and Joshua.
Alright. Where should we meet? Alright. What's that one? Oh. How about it's... I thought it looked like an ex-Chicago Northwestern unit. Oh. Democratic People's Republic of Korea. More like the not so democratic, not so People's, not so Republic of Korea. That's one pretty big airplane.
This B-29 Super Fortress here was named Sentimental Journey. It was delivered to the 330th Bombardment Group in Northfield, Guam, though it was delivered at war's end at the end of World War II, so it didn't really see much combat service. But in 1954, it was sent to the 4,713th Radar Evaluation Squadron in Rome, New York, and was renamed Dopey. It was finally retired in 1959, sat in storage for 10 years, and in 1969 was donated to the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force, and eventually was sent to the Pima Air and Space Museum, where it is today.
Is this the plane that dropped the A-bomb?
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
Also, if anyone in my audience is Japanese, yeah, sorry if I gave you bad memories.
B-17. Did this say,
So... Sheesh. So these were planes captured when Japan was our enemies, huh? Fascinating. Hang on. Wait a minute. Were these captured from said guys? Anyways, these are planes that used to be from our enemies. From a nation that used to be our enemies. Sorry.
This right here is an Imperial Japanese Air Force uniform.
Given that Francis in Left 4 Dead 2 hates suicide missions, I bet he would really hate having to, well, be in one of these kamikaze units. I hate suicide missions.
This is a different hangar with military aircraft.
Y'all in 30 days. Okay.
That guy, he has it all.
Wow.
That's actually true. It's not even bullshit.
Flying doctor.
There was also a Boeing 747 SP from NASA, but it was in storage at the time of recording. Hopefully some of you know what the SP and 747 SP stands for. And no, it's not short for this.
1053!
Thank you, Stacy. Stacy was,
There was also a small marker to the movie Airplane that starred Leslie Nielsen.
There's no reason to become alarmed, and we hope you'll enjoy the rest of your flight. By the way, is there anybody on board who knows how to fly a plane?
And after a bad attempt at mimicking the A-10 Warthog's gun, we'd head for home. Well, not before eating, but still.
Oh, wait. Yeah, maybe that's how it goes.
Thank you for watching, and until next time, have a good day.
I think it is. Sunday, 1916.